And a very good afternoon to you from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. And joining me, I'm Brent Perry. Beside me is Isaac Savage. And of course, as I say, we're here representing New Zealand boxing, some of the young elite boxers coming through. And welcome back to Boxing Live on Sky Sport 3 and of course on Sky Sport Next. And I'll tell you what, Isaac, it's been a long time between drinks when it comes to boxing.
It sure has, and we just want to welcome all those back home as well. Let's not forget, we're in the home of fighting pedigree. Lightning Mike Angove, Robert the Butcher Berridge, and Israel Adesanya also raised in this beautiful town as we get ready now.
Well, as we'll head down to our ring announcer, introducing Danny Jonas to introduce our first two boxers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Session 4 of the National Elite Youth Champs for 2021. I'd like to introduce the first bout of this afternoon, fighting out of the red corner, Kiva Potato. And Kiva's opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Connor Bilski.
Both these boxers out of Auckland. You come across them, of course, with your amount of boxing you do in
Sure
Auckland?
have, Brent. Like I said, Kiva, when he first started, he was just a little sprout, shorter than me. Now he dwarfs me. He's here now in the elite category here today in Wanganui, and this is going to be an absolute banger. To start off the elite, they came in at 63.5 kilograms. Revels in the red, Wellsford in the blue. It's certainly a showdown of boxing gyms as well.
And both these, or this bout particularly, will be 3 minutes each time. So these boys have had a number of fights. As you say, Lance Revel, a well-known name in boxing terms. Comes out of the Auckland Boxing Association. It's getting their final instructions.
Let's not forget too, Kiva is a national champion, Golden Gloves ×2, and at 2019 youth 60 kilogram champ. He certainly brings hands. He's very technical against the Wellsford boxer here, Connor in the blue. Starting very busy now, as we would have hoped and assumed. And for all those watching at home, what a way to crack off Friday afternoon.
Of course, we had Boxing Wednesday and again on Thursday. So we're starting to see some of the more established boxers. We also seeing coming up shortly, of course, some of the presentation medals being given over.
We're seeing a fast and furious pace too. I mean, both usually amateurs at times start off a little bit more technical, a little bit more measured. They're just going for it, standing right in the middle of the ring and throwing leather.
Both orthodox punches.
Kind of goes by the name or nickname Sniper, but there's no sniping in this first round. They're just certainly going for it, hammer tong, throwing everything they've got for this first three rounder. Good pace here once again. I mean, they're not slowing down on the gas. Usually I would talk about the technicality of one or what one's more doing, but they're both throwing down, exchanging punches. Real hard one for the judges to score on this. Tiring out now as they threw so hot and heavy for that first two. Yet now ready for the 1.5 to go. This is certainly an action-packed fight, Brent.
Both boxers standing toe-to-toe. They're not, neither one taking a back step. Oh, a nice little uppercut by Connor.
Kiva just going over there with the left hook. If that had landed, Connor could have been in trouble. But they are certainly not leaving anything for the road home here in this first round. I mean, I'm hoping that they come out guns blazing like this in round two. Nice overhand there from Connor as he comes forward. Starting to find their pace now as they slow down just so slightly. Nice double jab there again though from Connor.
Yeah, Connor seems to have his guard down a little bit with that left hand, leaving that chin exposed a little bit more.
Beautiful duck and weave, and then through a body shot there. Kevin comes straight forward again, followed by a left hook, putting the pressure on. I mean, just when you think one fighter may be up, the other fighter comes forward. Do feel sorry for the judges. As they say, they're certainly singing for their supper in this first round.
And of course, 4 judges, each one in the ring seeing something different to possibly what you might be watching at home.
It's always interesting too to keep your own scorecards, just to see, because you're right, Brent, they do watch from different angles. They see punches that land that we don't see just here on this one-dimensional screen. Great work rate from both fighters. Unbelievable. It's been a blistering pace. I mean, this is one of those fights that, you know, Obviously, it's going to go on the rounds, but they've spent so much energy in round 1 here. Let's see if they can keep up this pace for the remaining.
So as I mentioned at the top of the program, as we went live on Sky Sport Next and Sky Sport 3, a very warm welcome into Wanganui. We're here at the Jubilee Stadium, and a quick shout out to the organising committee who put on a brilliant venue. It's all sitting there, and in fact our ring announcer Danny Jonas is actually the CEO of Sport Wanganui, so we've stolen him, well they have, to bring him in.
Oh, he's doing a great job today. He's got his work cut out for him. 6 fights this afternoon, another 13 tonight, and then 2 more sessions tomorrow. Mate, we've got technical, explosive, but also, you know, fights for the purists out there watching. This is beautiful boxing that we're seeing on display here and then in the next couple of days.
And you will hear us saying 2021, 22, and of course it's only because of the COVID. The Nationals were cancelled last year, so we've had to catch up. And again, all going well, we'll be back here in Wanganui, the same venue, for the Nationals again in October.
We made jokes about it last time, but no, you can be a double champ in 1 year.
In 1 year.
So, I mean, look, it does get slightly confusing, but we'll just blame that on good old COVID as we get ready now for round number 2. Kiva in the red, Connor in the blue.
And of course, this would be the first time in quite some time that these young guys have been, and girls have been in a ring, so they may not be ring fit as they normally would. They'd just be sparring in the gym.
But they'll certainly be getting ready for it. Some of them would have obviously a little bit of pent-up, I wouldn't say rage, but, you know, they want to blow off some steam. They've been training for a while, and you can certainly see it in this fight this afternoon, kicking off the cards. What a way to start, you know, the afternoon with these guys throwing so hot and heavy.
Yeah, his jab's working very well too, keeping Connor at bay at some degree, but Connor's not afraid to come forward.
Just the speed too of Connor there in the blue. He's just so quick off the mark. He comes forward with that left, follows up the right, and then another left hook. Just missing, but sometimes landing there on Kiva. So you see the pace has slowed down just so slightly, but we can forgive them. I mean, what they threw in the first round was like a drag race, and we're just starting to slow down now as they get into the halfway point of round 2. Kiva finding a nice jab there and left hook. But you see Connor keeps ducking and landing that body shot, whether it be from the right or the left. Also, Philly Muck and Marlon will be yelling very explosive and technical instructions there from the corner. Wellsford, very well-known gym there in Auckland.
Big Kiva got a nice left-hand hook coming back round. Both these boys came in at exactly 63.5 kg.
Just getting ready now for the minute to go. You know, see the pace has slowed down, but they're still throwing consistent, heavy shots. Connor always walking forward, constantly trying to land those points, put scores on doors and land those body shots.
Yeah, we had a couple of interesting bouts yesterday, actually, where the decisions were split. And both, when we were commentating on it, it was really hard. And this is another one that could go either way.
Well, they talk about the commentator's curse, and we don't always like to say who won or how we thought it went. You know, I'll only gloat when I win and I'm right, but I don't want to talk about it when I get those calls wrong. And we were betting cups of tea last time. I don't know what we're going to bet this time.
Oh, we'll stick with the tea.
Blistering pace here from Connor. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say he could be slightly up on the judges' scorecards, just landing those cleaner shots, especially to the body.
Well, Kevin's had 22 bouts in total, and Connor has had 15, so pretty evenly matched as far as, you know, getting in the ring.
And that's leading to that. It's the best of the best. That's what we're going to see over the next 1 to 2 days. The best of the best boxers here in New Zealand that will go on to win world champs. End of round 2. Don't even want to call it. Like we've said, the judges have got their work cut out for them, and we've got so many good fights this weekend, Brent. I mean, I can't wait even to the next fight. Elliot against Maggie Grimshaw. Once again, a female fight, 66 kilograms. Saskia all the way from Putaruru, her dad, former fighter, kickboxer, boxer, now training champs. I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
And yesterday we had the first chance to see a new weight that's been introduced, which was the cruiser. And so that's for the boxers at around the 86 kg. And we're well represented.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, these weight categories are changing and adjusting, and rightly so. And it's good to see that division here now in the the boxing championships.
So, of course, with the afternoon program, we're managing to bring in a number of different people to have a chat with. We've got Chile Joseph Parker coming down to us really shortly to have a chat.
Ready now for round number 3, the third and final. Connor Bilski there in the blue. Kiva there in the red.
So it's 3 minutes of time to be able to prove yourself to say that I'm going to move forward into the finals.
And just as we said, they're starting this third round, the money round as they say, just as they started the first. Blistering pace once again. Kiva very quick off the mark. Beautiful overhand right shot there. Just coming forward now, fast and furious, landing the combos. Higher work rate here from Kiva as he comes forward now. Potentially a harsh word from the ref or the coach in the corner saying, come on, win this round, take it forward, and he certainly is. Certainly the aggressor of the two as he's walking forward now. Everyone back home in Auckland and around the world will be supporting him. Kiva there in the red, just walking down Connor as we get ready now for the last round. Something wear him down as well. Kiva's walked forward very aggressively for the first part of the round. Can he keep up this pace for the last 1.5?
As I say, that's quite happy to go toe-to-toe. They want to be the champion for 2021.
Well, look, even the ref's loving what he sees in here as this action goes down. And at times, amateur boxing isn't always this explosive, this technical, but these guys really want it. They certainly don't want to go home and lose. They want to proceed next to obviously the finals, and they're certainly throwing everything out there tonight or today in this bout.
There's nowhere to hide in that 4 corners around it, so they've got to stand there. They're using the actual full width of the ring beautifully, actually. They're moving.
Well, this is what we love too about amateur boxing is it's so technical, so quick. You've got to put those scores on doors. They don't tangle too much up into the corner. They don't stay in the pocket. They get out, they jab, stick and move, and they're certainly landing those shots.
Into the final minute of round number 3 of our first light welterweight. It's going to be a very interesting decision of which way the judges go on this.
Yeah, look, it's just one of those ones where I throw my cards up in the air, my bits of paper, and say, hey, up to you guys, because I'm glad I'm not judging that. And for those watching at home, who do you think's got it? Is it blue? Is it red? It's been so technical. It's one of those fights that you'd have to judge and score very intently. You can't sit back and relax.
So as part of the program this afternoon, there are a number of medals will be given out after this particular bout. We've jacked up a couple of interviews with some names in boxing in New Zealand, which you may well know, but they're down within that last 5 seconds now. We landed a beautiful uppercut there.
Big shot there from Kiva to finish the round. Like I said, Brett, hard one to score. Both guys are winners on the day. What a performance.
I just love the camaraderie as well at the end of the fight. Both of them go up to the following quarter.
Well, they've shed some blood, sweat and tears.
Literally.
And looking at this fight, they left nothing for the road home. Usually you look for the highlights. The whole fight was a highlight in this one.
So these boys will be just sitting there waiting for the judges to announce it. We can see that the decision has been made and it's going to be delivered down to our ring announcer. I'll tell you one thing you're going to enjoy is when the Cantabrians have one of their boxers come in. You won't believe the noise that comes out.
The crowd was getting crazy last night.
Crazy was an understatement. So we'll head down to the ring and talk to Danny Jonas for the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by unanimous decision, fighting out of the red corner, Kiva Potato.
There you have it, Auckland fighter. What a win, Kiva Potato. Like I said, when he started as a young sprout, now he's starting to dwarf many of us around here, and what a performance today, well deserved.
Well, an event such as this doesn't happen without a lot of effort, because we've got we have 14 referees who actually double up as their judges as well. So they've been busy lads and girls.
What an afternoon it's been, and what a performance that was. What a way to open up the card this afternoon, Brent.
It's, again, if you're watching, or you are watching it on Sky Sport Next and Sky Sport 3, it is brilliant. But now we're going to head down and find out about some of the awards that are being given for the walkovers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to make some presentations from the Unopposed 2021 New Zealand champions. And to make the presentations, please welcome the President of Boxing New Zealand, Mr. Steve Hartley. Our first presentation is in the cadets category, and it is for the cadets female 44 kgs. And the winner from Canterbury, Leah Newman.
Steve works hard in boxing along with Keith Walker, who's involved here. They're all here.
Also be getting into the commentary box at some point, won't we, Brent?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he loves his boxing, that is for sure.
Next to ringside, please welcome from Wanganui, from the cadets female 70 kg unopposed 2021 New Zealand champion, Keely Perez.
So for those who are unfamiliar with the walkover,
It's basically they've been unopposed. No one's actually stepped up to the plate, so they win via default.
and a lot of this would be done because simply the boxers themselves haven't been able to get into the gyms to work out because of the COVID, especially for those north, because you guys had a massive lockdown in Auckland where the rest of us were, reasonably unscathed.
For the next unopposed New Zealand champion for 2021 in the cadets male 66 kg, please welcome to the ring, Suli Ekitau.
I think what we do usually see too, if they are unopposed, they usually step up. So at times you'll see a lighter fighter fighting a heavier fighter. May not always win, but she just wants to fight.
So if you joined us yesterday, gentleman with the cap, Steve Hartley.
To ringside, please welcome cadet male 60 kg unopposed New Zealand champion for 2021 from Canterbury, Azizula Gazazada.
Now last year, I think, just remembering,
Cantabrian's always loud. I'm surprised we haven't heard them yet.
Oh,
They're not in the building yet, are they?
not
You
all
can't
of
hear them.
You'll hear them, I can promise you that. They were sitting within about 3 feet of me yesterday and you could hardly hear yourself. So these are the awards for the walkovers.
In the junior category, unopposed New Zealand champion for 2021 from Bay of Plenty, Tikihu Kerr.
Always good too for these tournaments though. A lot of boxers come up, they'll get in extra rounds, they'll get to fight other people, even spar, only levels them up and brings them, brings their potential up and improves their skills as a boxer.
He's a big strapping young fella. So I think we've got one more to go.
And finally, in the 66 kg junior men, unopposed champion for 2021 from Central North Island, Cole Banks.
So that's the presentations that have been done.
Thank you, sir.
And Steve Hartley doing those presentations. So as I say, it's fast and furious here at the boxing. It doesn't really slow down for much longer. So we'll head down to our ring announcer, Danny Jonas, again to introduce our next boxers.
Officials, boxers to the ringside, please.
So these are 2-minute rounds.
As I said earlier, Brent, I'm looking forward to this one. Nigel Elliott's daughter, there in the red. It's Maggie in blue. Going to be an absolute banger, this one.
The Maggie from the Hawke's Bay. And Elliot from the Bay of Plenty. I think Elliot's had 7 bouts, but we've got no, from Maggie, we don't know how many from that. So we'll get our ring announcer to introduce them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first final for the afternoon session. It is the junior female, 66 kg, 3 2-minute rounds. Please welcome, fighting out of the red corner from the Bay of Plenty, Saskia Elliott. And Saskia's opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Maggie Grimshaw.
So Isaac, have you come across any of these ladies?
Oh no, I Nigel very well, and I've gone down to a few fight nights down to Putaruru, and he actually races horses, so he gets his daughter to run around the horse track as well for extra training to kill 2 birds with 1 stone in a sense. So can't wait to see this one. I mean, Maggie's got her work cut out for her. This is a 3 by 2-minute round, but if she's in there with Saskia, she's certainly got, you know, some skill or the skill to beat her. So let's see as we get ready now for round number 1. Don't blink, don't go away. It's going to be action from the get-go.
Paul McSherry is the referee for this bout. He keeps a very close eye on it, and also he's one of the selectors for Commonwealth Games.
What we'll see too from this fight is a little bit more technicality, a little bit more measured. You know, it was, like you said, it was fast and furious before in that earlier fight. The females here, yes, they are still vicious, but they at times too a little more calculated with what they do. Nice jabs there, keeping Saskia at bay. She knows she's got the power, she doesn't want to stand. Actually just threw a nice right though to put the head back there of Saskia. Like you want to see here from Maggie at the moment, very technical, very sharp, keeping Saskia at bay.
Both managing to get those right hand moving across the top.
Good straightforward, walk forward punches at the moment. They're just walking right into each other's shots. I'd like to see a little bit more footwork. Nice movement there from Maggie as she moved right, then threw a punch back in. Nice jab as well, you know. Beautiful jab to keep her at bay as she is. Saskia needs to just move a little bit more. She wants to get inside of that jab. Keeping a nice centre ring now as we get her for 30 seconds to go. Good pace here from these female fighters. Coming out 66 kilograms. Maggie walking forward now, chasing, certainly the aggressor as she comes forward now, putting Saskia on the back foot. Nice movement there. You can see Saskia read the shots, move left, right, and then through and landed. 10 seconds. At times I'll throw a little bit harder to try to score those points before they get ready for the end of the round. And what a round that was. Once again, I'm not going to try to call it, Brent.
Not at all, but I was just watching Maggie. She was lining Saskia up nicely, but not just connecting. She was sort of just a lot of energy being expelled and for no result.
So the first round, unlike the first round of the first fight today, they're trying to figure each other out. They're seeing what feints work, what slips, weaves they can throw or get away with. And here's what we're seeing in this first fight. I mean, the fight prior with Keva and Connor, there was none of that. They just sort of, it was hell and leather for the first one. This is a bit more technical. They're just trying to figure each other out. You'll see a bit more movement now, a few more risks as we get into round 2.
So we're here at the Jubilee Stadium in Wanganui. Coverage, of course, with Sky Sport Next, along with Sky Sport 3. Thanks for joining us. Getting their instructions back from their corners.
Ace fighters in the red, Saskia, Giants Hastings, another good gym there in the blue. Maggie Grimshaw coming out now, beautiful walk forward style, certainly putting Saskia on the back foot for part of it, but you can see Saskia's got the skills to move and get out of the way of those punches, which we might see more so in round 2. Nice step back as well. good counter fighting here from Saskia. She's not going to play the same style that Maggie has and walk forward and meet off those punches. She's going to move, she's going to box intelligently.
So both these girls looking to get themselves into a championship position. These are only 2-minute rounds.
Sure are, and they are certainly going a little bit slower in this one. You know, the heat, the pace isn't as wild as it was in the first one, but they're certainly landing very good shots, blows, they're connecting. It's a very technical bout. They've been trained well, and the boxing skills are on display here.
One of the things you tend to notice, well, I've noticed, is that the girls are more interested in trying to score on the headshot as opposed to working the body a lot.
Yeah, a little bit more of that in this bout number 2 here this afternoon. You know, the body shots are certainly getting thrown, or body blows in the first round. However, more so head shots from both these female fighters as Maggie walks forward, just doing her best to be the aggressor in this fight against Saskia in the red.
There's that last 10-second flurry of both these girls.
Nice blow there from Saskia to finish the round. You know, that's what the judges look for as well, is one of those clean connecting blows, the boxing, and then that final 10.
She was using, both girls were using their jab really well.
Certainly were, and it's another hard one to score. I mean, there's no easy fights here at the Nationals, and they're getting words of wisdom now from coach. There's Nigel Elliott speaking to daughter Saskia, that he, like I said, if you follow him on Insta and their boxing gym, great following, good gym down there in Putaruru, and they get them running around the horse track for training in the sand.
Coming up next, we've got another young boxer you're going to be having a chat with.
Yeah, we're talking to Chili Joseph Palmer, originally from Canterbury, now up here in Wanganui, Riverside Boxing, so it's going to be a great interview, and with a name like that, who needs a nickname?
He does. Maybe that's why he put it there. He could be our next Joseph Parker. So this is the final round. Again, these are 2-minute rounds.
Third and final, as they say, the money round. Very hard one to score so far, and look, they both know it. They are meeting in the middle, boxing on display. I mean, if they ain't tough, what are they, Brent? They're certainly throwing down. What a boxing bout we have on here. Fight number 2 of the afternoon.
And while we've got the viewers' attention, we'll also be back again at 5 o'clock for the evening session, and then again tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock again, and then the big finals from 5. As you say, the organising committee did brilliantly to keep these bouts just coming at us non-stop. A nice overhand right with Maggie.
Just relentless, you know, that pace here from Maggie as she comes forward. As you just said there, Brett, she's just absolutely fast and furious, coming forward now, putting Saskia on the constant back foot, but Saskia comes forward now, throwing a few blows of her own.
She's probably getting a call from her corner as well to say just within the minute, so don't use the last bit of your battery life. Go for it.
Beautiful overhand right. And you see the counter shots now from Saskia. She slip, weave, throw right, move back, throw left. Very patient with her shots too. She just walked back and threw another. Beautiful display of boxing here from Saskia. Just as I said that though, she caught one on the chin from Maggie. Was Maggie listening to us here in the commentary box as she threw that? Now we get ready for 20 seconds to go.
You can see the arms just starting to drop a little bit. They're both girls are getting a little tired.
10 seconds, they both know it. They're throwing. What a boxing bout for fight number 2 of the Nationals here this afternoon in Wanganui.
Some of the highlights you'll see from this round anyway. The arm's starting to just drop a little bit more. As you say, getting tired. A lot of people don't realise that even 2 minutes times 3 is actually going to take it out of you.
Longest 2 minutes of your life. And the guys in the, the back seat tonight doing all the cuts, edits for these hot shots here, I mean, they're not having to do too much. They're just having to take snippets from most of the fights, because every single fight we're seeing so far is explosive.
So the crowd's starting to build up a little bit more, but as I say, we've had a really good turnout with the boxing over this last couple of days, and it's only going to get better as we get it more into the finals. So we'll head down to our ring announcer, Danny Jonas.
Could we please have Ina Schuster to the ringside, please?
Looks like we're getting a presentation by one of our referees. Ina Schuster.
Ina's going to make a presentation. Ina's background for your viewing is Secretary of the New Zealand Referee and Judges Association. She is an IBAR 1 referee and judge. Recently represented New Zealand as an R&J at the Thailand Cup in Phuket. And of course, a 2-time New Zealand national champion. Welcome, Ina.
And an absolutely lovely lady as well. Had the pleasure of meeting her on numerous occasions at these events.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. The New Zealand champion for 2021. Fighting out of the red corner, Saskia Elliott.
So presentation's been made. So while we've got a little bit of a break just with some of what's been going on, Isaac, we've been joined by a boxer you know a little bit about. And his name is Joseph Parker, but with the nickname Chili.
Chili Joseph Palmer, hey, welcome along. What a name. I mean, first of all, we usually come up with nicknames for fighters, but with that nickname or name in itself, we don't need one, do we, Chili?
No.
I'll turn somehow his mic's not working.
Oh, yeah. My name's Chili Joseph Palmer. Not
Chili
Parker.
Joseph Palmer. And look, originally born in Canterbury, now residing in Wanganui. How did you get started in boxing?
I was driving in when I was little, and I seen a boxing gym, and I just decided to join up. Thought it would be a bit of fun.
And since then, what have you gone on to achieve and win?
I've just started fighting again last year. I took a break off after 9 fights when I was little, and I started fighting again last year. 1-2, lost 2.
And what weight category are you in? And when are we going to see you this weekend?
I'm in the 63 weight division, and I'm fighting this afternoon in session 5.
There you have it. And do you know much about your opponent?
No, I seen him fight yesterday, but he's a real good fighter, likes to charge, and it should be a good fight.
Do you like to go talk to your opponent? Do you know much about him? Or do you just stay away and just wait for it to actually start and just get your hands to the talking?
I'll stay away, normally just train, talk to him after the fight, but, here's what it is.
And what's it like training at River City? I mean, most of the fighters here today are from there.
Yeah, we're a small gym, it's really fun, everyone's funny.
And it works well.
Yeah.
Well, good luck for this evening. It's been a pleasure having you up with us. We're heading down to our next boxing match. As I say, we don't get much chance to sit down and talk to the boxers themselves because you're literally getting in and out of the ring so fast. So we'll head down to our ring announcer, Danny Jonas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the final of the Cadet male 44 kg, 3 1.5-minute rounds. Please welcome, fighting out of the red corner from Taranaki, Taylon Barrett. And Taylon's opponent fighting out of the blue corner from Central North Island. Please welcome Mordecai Huni.
Mordecai Huni is from Rota Vegas.
Pogo Rockets, as they say, and 44 kilograms. Watch the action in this one. They will certainly throw, and it'll be a great boxing bout as we get ready now for fight number 3 of the afternoon.
Taylor's only had 6 bouts up against a fighter with 25, so there's a small bit of ring pressure. But I remember one of these guys from last year, I think it was in the blue corner, he literally came out running.
Well, no, since you say that, look at Taylor, the way he moves, his energy. Look, he's running out as they get ready now for bout number 1. Beautiful, quick, stiff jab there from Taylor there in the red. He's quick, but Mordecai is swift as well. I mean, both guys are just certainly skilled for their age category, and we're in for a treat here as we get ready now for bout number 3.
Well, of course, Mordecai has the Golden Gloves in 2018.
I mean, you got to love the nicknames too there. Talon, Yeah Man, and Mordecai the Hulk.
It was New Zealand Nationals in 2020. He's competed in the Golden Gloves in 2020, and again with the North Island Open in 2020. So, you know, he's been around a little bit.
Mordecai coming forward now. I mean, yes, they are young. They're only 44 kilograms, but the skill level, from what we're seeing from both fighters, beautiful jab as he comes forward, very quick and technical. Nice angles here though from Taylor. He knows that Mordecai's quick coming forward, so he's moving those angles, trying to stay out of way of danger of those shots. Nice double jab.
You can sort of see the height of these young fellas because the head's barely hitting the top rope, but they move very, very quickly. Oh, lovely overhand right, followed by a lovely body shot as well.
And Mordecai walking forward now, the Hulk, living up to that name, going high, going low, putting Talon on the ropes. But Talon's still looking swift, still looking energetic, and you can always tell too the way a fighter starts or a boxer starts around, and he walked off looking calm, cool, doesn't look under too much pressure as we get into round number 2.
And remembering they're only 1.5 minute rounds, so as I say, the boxing is fast and furious. We'll be joined by Steve Hartley shortly. We saw him in the ring just making some of the presentations. He's quite dapper in that hat, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is, and it's going to be good to have him in the hot seat here to break down some of the fights, but also talk about what's coming up and later on in the year.
Because, of course, these nationals are for 2021 due to COVID. So if you are reading what we're thinking that we're getting it wrong, it's just the way that COVID affected just about every sport in the country, and boxing was no exception.
Good chance to become a double champ in 1 year. And finally, as we go into 2023, we'll go back to some sort of normality, in a sense, with one show a year. Round number 2 now, and you know, like you said, Brett, they started fast and furious, but they're still starting again at round number 2 as the Hulk comes forward now, almost chasing.
I was going to say, he's stalking him around the ring. He's not getting a chance, Taylor, to get away from him at all.
I mean, we talk about a lot of these bouts being technical and a little bit more measured, but every single bout we're seeing on these nationals is, you know, they've got something to prove, or they just haven't fought in such a long time. They want to get out here and show them what they're worth.
Well, the young Hulk in blue is doing his absolute best to try and get Taylor back onto the ropes. But he's done really well to just be able to move off that left foot, and then there we go again.
Starting to find their range and speed, and Taylor's trying to get inside of the Hulk, but struggling because the Hulk just walks forward. He's living up to that name, the Hulk smash style.
Yeah, but he's also very conscious of the fact that where those ropes are, so he's trying to stay centered so he's not getting pushed back all the time. And that's a lot of maturity for a very young boxer.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, like, the way he's so composed and throwing the shot with skill is what you see from a more experienced, almost professional boxer. But he's only an amateur, a young man, and certainly got a lot of potential.
Both these boys weighed in about 44 kg. But their hand speed's brilliant.
I mean, they never ever fail to entertain the younger, smaller fighters. I mean, when we were in Taupo that time, we had I forget his name now, Wee Man. That was his nickname. He basically flew into the ring, flew out. The crowd were on their feet. It was probably one of the most entertaining bouts of the whole tournament.
He literally sprinted into the middle in all 3 rounds. He was amazing.
And he couldn't have been over 3.5 foot. But it was one of the most exciting fights we saw of the weekend.
And he wasn't afraid. He just kept coming.
I mean, if he's like that at 3 foot, what's he going to be like at 5 or 6?
Well, we might have even walked past him now because he's probably put on
He's probably taller than us.
Put a couple of inches on himself. So this is the third and final round.
Once again, another hard one. I can't wait to have Brett in the hot seat to talk about how these are being judged and what it actually is like for a judge at times, because they are seeing on different angles, not to what we see here on TV, and that's why sometimes you think when the judge's score comes out, what fight were they watching?
Young Talon again is not afraid to sort of mix it up.
He certainly isn't, but he has been on the back foot for a lot of the fight. But the Hulk has been doing a great job of keeping him on the back foot, constantly walking forward, meeting Talon with, beautiful shots, beautiful blows as he comes forward now. Nice little sort of Philly guard there as he walks forward.
He's controlling the centre of the ring perfectly.
Very confident, been trained well, but comes from a very good gym as well. Out of Road of Vegas. Ducking and weaving now as he comes in. Doing a great job, like you said earlier, of keeping Talon on the ropes. Never letting him get out of there, putting that pressure on. Loves to be in the pocket, but also can stick and move and keep him at bay.
And he's trained by his father, George. Bit of a shout out to all those in Rotorua at the moment. Join the coverage on Sky Sport Next and Sky Sport 3.
Yeah, good gym there, CNI out of the blue. Taranaki Boxing, also a good one. The box office boxing there in Taranaki. Talon, what about that was in round 3? Not going to call it. Loved what I saw from both young fighters. What were your thoughts on that one, Brent, if you had to call?
I think it's got to go to the Hulk, but it's going to be... I don't know whether I'd go unanimous, but I'm pretty confident that he will take out this one. He was the aggressor, but that doesn't really count for anything. It's whether he's not scored enough points to be able to make it work.
Certainly living up to that name as well, the Hulk. When we saw those replays, that's all he was pretty much doing, was hulking out and keeping Taylor at bay. But still loved what I saw from Taylor. Beautiful skill, experience here for a younger fighter. As we get ready now for the judges' decision.
Ryan Henry.
So as we head down to Danny
Ryan
Jones.
has coached boxers for over 25 years, is currently an executive member of the New Zealand Boxing Coaches Association, current president of the Otago Box Association, and also a Boxing New Zealand selector. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, a unanimous decision. And the New Zealand champion for 2021 in the Cadet 44 kgs. And the winner fighting out of the blue corner, Motika Uli.
Well, you called it, Brent, the Hulk. Motika takes the win, Cadet champ, and well-deserved.
So making the presentation is Ryan Henry. We'll be having a chat with him tomorrow because Ryan's come up from the Otago, but he's also... a selector for the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, looking forward to having him up and looking forward to seeing the Hulk jump in again. I know that he's already won and he's the Cadet champ, but I have to see this guy fight again.
Not showing a lot of emotion. So as I say, it's fast and furious here. We'll have this next bout and then we'll have a chance to speak with Steve Hartley, president of New Zealand Boxing, or Boxing New Zealand. So our next bout should be Cordell Campbell against Kanu Mooney. So we'll head down to our ring announcer again, Danny Jonas, to introduce our next two boxers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce our next bout. It is the Cadet Male 50 kg final. From Taranaki, fighting out of the red corner, please welcome Cordell Campbell. And Cadel's opponent fighting out of the blue corner from Manawatu, please welcome Kano Mooney.
Now this will be one that we'll have to keep Steve Hartley quiet on, because of course he's got somebody from the Naki competing. And you know how he is not parochial at all.
Well, he's not too far away, so he might rip the headset off me and start screaming himself. I mean, what about we've got again Cadets? This is the final. We're only stepping up 6 kilograms. I mean, that was still an explosive fight earlier at 44. What are we going to see at 50?
Both are orthodox boxers.
Got Cordell there in the red, Keanu in the blue. You can sort of see too that slight step up in height and weight, only going up 6 kilograms, but it does make a difference. Box office boxing in the red, Meehan's boxing there in the blue. This is the final, so expect fireworks.
So young Mooney in blue is the Golden Gloves for 2019, 2021, and the Wellington Champs of 2021 as well. Cordell not to be outdone, he's also a Wellington champ. But a little bit less experience with just 5 bouts. Kian's had 22. So I wonder whether that experience will show.
We talked about it earlier as well. At times, you know, the first round will just be a feeling out process. And we're seeing that here. I mean, unlike the first fight, once again, that was just absolutely wild. This is technical. This is a great bout. It's a real feeling out process. And we're going to see a real technical fight in this one, Brett. Nice jabs there from Cadell. Keanu, though, finding his range as he's starting to walk Cadell forward now into the ropes. That's where he wants to be. Wants to rack up those points. Move that headgear there of Cadell. Centre ring. Once again, still a bit of a filling out process.
And all these bouts, of course, are 1.5 minutes.
Might need a bit of an adjustment there on the headgear of Cordell. You can see that Keanu's got a great range and vision as he comes forward. Now you can see his eyes, where he's going to throw and where he wants to be. I feel Cordell needs to slightly adjust that headgear or move it up slightly, and that's what they're doing right now. When we get a few fighters in as well, we can ask them about that, because I know some love or do not love it, but it is necessary for the health and safety here at the Nationals and amateur boxing.
Well, it keeps being repeated, but safety is absolutely paramount, and the well-being of the boxers themselves.
Yeah, it certainly avoids the head clash, cuts, and protects the fighter at all times, should they fall as well. But they just have to be cautious with that vision at times, because it does look like it can affect the fighter as well. Getting ready now for bouts or round 2. Keanu there in the blue, Cadell in the red. Nice movement there from Cadell, keeping out of the range of the taller fighter there, Keanu. Beautiful jab there from Keanu that he keeps pestering Cadell with. But Cadell coming forward now, meeting him with an uppercut. So we find his range now. Beautiful step, hop, skip, and then came in with the right, left upper.
But Kennedy was quite quick to respond to that as well. So you've got both fighters are very, very quick on their feet as well, using the full size of the ring.
Keanu's got the reach, but you can see at times Cadell's got the speed, and he'll step inside. He has to use that speed as well against a taller fighter. Nice little feint there from Keanu as he comes forward. Yes, he is the taller fighter. He's using his range as best he can, but Cadell is just so speedy. Great footwork too there from both boxers. That 10-second clapper certainly put a firework into the last part of the round 2.
You can see our referee, of course, ready to jump in. Not let it go past.
See the speed, beautiful footwork and movement here from Cadet as he gets out of the way of that long reach and jabs from Keanu.
Yeah, there's probably just a couple of inches in it. But he used that jab really nicely just to connect right near the end of that.
Well, he's starting to figure out, what's going to work for him and what he can throw and get away with. And we see that in the first part of the fight and rounds. The boxers are trying to figure out. They'll throw something and he's starting to find a home for those uppercuts.
So we're broadcasting from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui, and an organising committee that have done an absolute splendid job. Of course, we'll, with the national crew, be back here again in October, so these boys will be catching up with themselves again. So this is the final 1.5 minutes.
And it's living up to, every final we are going to witness here over the weekend. Cadet coming out now, very speedy, beautiful footwork. I mean, we are in round 3, but it looks like these guys could go another 3. They're just starting to get warmed up. So fit, so young. Hardly breaking a sweat. Beautiful overhand right. So he really launched that upper, but it didn't find a home from Kanu. Kanu saw that from a mile away as he got out of the reach and way of that shot.
It was just a slip. I think he's also finding Cadell Campbell that his headgear is just dropping down a little bit. He seems to, every time he sort of throws a flurry of punches, he's having to readjust that headgear. It's just dropping down on his eyes, and that can be a real distraction for a boxer.
Beautiful movement, yes. So he stepped right, then stepped back inside and thrown inside the Cadell, and that's just beautiful. It's working. When he does throw it, it lands, and he's just started to figure that out in the latter rounds. Now, again, he feinted, he slipped, he threw it up that landed there on Keanu. I mean, it's absolutely superb to see these fighters throwing these sort of shots, blows at this age and experience.
Let's see what they do in the last 10 seconds. Oh, mouth guard.
First time we're seeing that this afternoon. I wouldn't say it's the first time we're going to see it for the weekend. At times, yes, it does happen from a shot. Also a good chance for both fighters to get a bit of a breather, but we've only got a few seconds left, Brent.
Yeah. So that last 10-second flurry that we always look forward to, maybe not going to happen. So coming up after this bout, we'll be chatting with Steve Hartley, the President of Boxing New Zealand.
Once again, great bout. Very curious to see which way this goes. Blue fought his heart out. But Cadet came forward as well and started landing some beautiful shots. Blows near the end of round 3 and late round 2.
Well, as we said, we're not really too good at predictions at the moment, so but I'd probably go as far as saying it will be a split decision.
I'm not going to say which way it's going to go. You just never know with the amateur championships. But every single bout, there's something on the line, whether it be that title, bragging rights, and the championship.
We'll head down to our ring announcer, the man with the dulcet tones, Danny Jonas.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Mr. Rex Jenkins to make the presentation. Rex has been a long-time coach and has coached boxers for over 46 years. An executive member of the New Zealand Boxers Association, life member of the New Zealand Boxers Coaching Association, a life member of Boxing New Zealand, and a former national coach for the junior squad. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. And the winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Kanu Mooney.
There you have it, Keanu Mooney, the winner. And you're on the money today, Brent. You are on the money. This has been your best record so far.
I'm sick of making cups of tea.
Yeah, I can certainly tell. I mean, you're on an absolute roll. I'm going to ask you for the lotto numbers later on, actually.
Oh, no, I'm not that lucky. I don't think I could win a meat raffle even if I was the only one with a ticket.
Hey, what a performance once again from both fighters, boxers here in that cadet final, and I'm sure the President will have something to say about this as well.
So, of course, before we get to our next bout, we're going to introduce and put on camera for the first time in a while Steve Hartley. He is the President of Boxing New Zealand. Steve, well done. You got the event going after all of the COVID nonsense that New Zealand went through and the world.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, we cancelled the thing twice, before we got it moving, and we thought, look, we've got to do it. And regardless of what the criteria will be, we've got to run the thing. The whole emphasis on this event is really placed on the fact that we need to put forward some names for Commonwealth Games selection.
And we'll be talking to one of those selectors, Ryan Henry, shortly. But overall, another brilliant event.
Oh, it's great. It always is. The sport's a great sport. And it's exciting. The kids and the participants are wonderful people. It's a great humanising sport.
So with the weekend to go, we've still got another session tonight at 5 o'clock, and then we go again, 5 o'clock, then 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then the finals of the big boys tomorrow night.
Yep, all finals tomorrow, and then you get into the elite finals. And some of those elite boxers have got a lot to box for. There's quite a bit on the line, and they'll give it all it's got. So it'll be good. It'll be fun.
Steve, I just want to ask, how hard was it not to scream, shout, or even rip the headset off me in that last bout?
Well, Taranaki won for a start, so why was I worried?
You were so quiet over
Did you not see I went blue?
So obviously our judges need a bit of a tickle-up. This isn't good enough.
We're going to talk about that too.
Taranaki did lose, but hey, it was a good bout.
With the judging, and we'll talk about the next bout, but, with us watching here on screen, for those watching back home, it's so different when you're watching down there ringside on the angle you are, right?
Oh, there's 4 different fights going on, or bouts going on. There's 4 different views. And I've had boxers before where I thought, you've come away from a bout, you're in the corner, you think, that was a bit rough. We thought we had that one. And then you go and watch it on video from another point of view, and you think, well, what fight? What bout was this? So yeah, it is. That's why we have a judge in each corner. So that balances the whole thing out.
So while we've got a quick chance, we've got just under 30 seconds to go, but the Nationals, October?
Yes.
All go?
Golden Gloves. Queen's birthday. That'll be on Sky Sport next, I hope. Maybe
and that's
on Sky.
That's on Taupo?
Taupo.
My whole hometown. So we'll head back down to Danny Jonas to introduce our next bout.
Boxers to ringside, please. Boxers to ringside.
So we're getting ready for the last bout for this session, but we've got lots to go, I can tell you that. This is where I did warn you. I did warn you when you first arrived, Isaac, that this, the Canterbury boys are within about 20 feet of where we're commentating from, and they get really vocal.
Well, like I said, usually I say before an event, let's get noise control up in here, but we actually really might need them for these Cantabrians.
Oh, they don't need any coaching in the sense of making making a lot of noise, because they will do it.
Please welcome, fighting out of the red corner from the mighty Hawke's Bay, Harvey Madden. And Harvey's opponent, fighting out of the blue corner from Canterbury, please welcome Bobby Brown.
Well, you said it, Brendan. They certainly don't need any more encouragement. I've just felt the energy of this room lift up. The roof's getting blown off this place as we get ready now for the second to last bout of the afternoon. Harvey Madden there in the red, Bobby Brown in the blue. Goes by the name Gardening Guns. Must love getting out in the gardening. But here he is in the ring. Let's see what he's going to do.
Bobby Brown stands at around 5'6". Both orthodox in their boxing style. just getting their final instructions.
Brown there in the blue, Harvey Matt in the red. I mean, like I said, it's just like a fireworks been lit in the building here tonight as we get ready now for bout number 5.
So the chanting for Bobby Brown from the Cantabrians will start pretty short. He's out of the Woolston boxing gym.
Bobby Brown also a counter fighter, so you'll see him move, get out of the way, use these angles. Once you get another taller versus shorter fighter. Nice movement there though from Harvey.
Probably South Island Golden Gloves. Make a little shout out to his little brother Reno, who's unable to be here.
Harvey just walking Bobby Brown now, much to the unpleasant reaction from the Canterbury crowd here today. They've certainly, it's like they've filled up a quarter of the building, or half the building here today, Brent.
Well, they get vocal, very, very vocal. You can actually see them on the screen there, just up in the top corner.
Harvey Madden just missing with the right overhand. We're seeing pretty much one of two styles here this afternoon. The walk forward fighter against the counter puncher. The stick and move.
Again, these boxes are only going for 1.5 minutes.
Also, like Harvey, you saw him just sticking out that jab, but then leaving it there, trying to distract Bobby Brown away, then to throw an overhand right. Bobby Brown at times being, he's actually being distracted by that shot, and it's actually working at times for Harvey. Let's see if he can pick it up in round 2 and not let that work so much.
And again, the headgear is starting to prove a little bit longer. I mean, the hair is longer. It's always going to create some sort of grief. You notice it quite a lot with, particularly with the female boxers with the headgear. If the hair's that long, it can start to get distracting.
You can also see too, with that, when it's just above the brow, they have clear vision. It's good. And we're seeing that more with the blue headgear today. One and a half down. Well, 1.5 minute rounds, so the rounds do go very quick. Bobby Brown there in the blue, Harvey in the red.
So the idea being for these boxers, don't leave anything in the tank. You've only got another basically 3 minutes to go, so
that's the beauty of amateur boxing. Unlike pros that do go 10 or 12 rounds, they certainly, I wouldn't say tend to be a little bit lazy, but they're not as active. Whereas at amateur rounds, you have to throw shots at every single point in the fight, just like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, Harvey landed a couple of lovely shots, both with the left and the right hand. His corner's probably set, but then he gets clipped, so Bobby Brown certainly living up to that name and style of fight, a counter puncher, as he described. And you see that he throw right and stick to the left. Beautiful jab there from Bobby Brown. It's not very often we see a leading left hook like a jab. So this is your Cantabrians, if you can hear it on our mics. They're starting to get really, really vocal. They're getting in behind
Bobby Brown feeding off that as well as he lands shots for the last 20 to 30 seconds. And even in the time, he wouldn't let Harvey get away with anything, throwing a few body shots of his own.
Again, that jab was working well for him as well. So the corner's making it quite clear.
Bring a shot up.
It's Craig McDougall saying, come on, minute and a half to go.
Just circle around like a shark, cut him off. Keep him where you want.
What about so far? And, you know, as you said, Brett, this is the last round. Who wants this more? Who wants to take it home? Bobby Brown certainly up on the scorecard so far. That's the only one I'm going to call because I feel a little bit more confident about.
It does help when you can actually see what the judges are thinking. So no, don't start that one with me. So this is it, the last minute and a half of this, the male 56 kg.
Just the speed as well. They both basically ran out. I mean, the bouts are going to be this exciting with lockdowns. Bring in some more. I mean, they come out guns blazing, came charging into the ring. Now as we get ready for the 1 minute.
Harvey connected beautifully with that overhand right. Caught Bobby right on the chin.
Just using the ring beautifully as well. Angles.
But worried that he's dropping that left hand down a little bit as well. So he's opening that chin wide open. So the Canterbury boys are saying to young Bobby Brown, we're here for you, mate. Let's go.
Harvey Madden doing his best to walk Bobby Brown down, but Bobby Brown is relentless. Nice movement there as well, getting out the way of those shots from Harvey Madden in the red. Another jab, and then moves the angle. Beautiful display of boxing. He'll jab, then move. Jab, throw a shot. Beautiful counter striking again here from Bobby Brown. Not letting Harvey get away with anything. Gotta love the guts and glory here though from Harvey throwing until the end of the round.
It's the one thing I love about amateur boxing is you watch two guys and girls going toe to toe, and at the end of it they both burst into a big smile and give themselves a cuddle and say, thanks mate, it was fun.
I was going to say hug. You said cuddle.
You know, cuddle, hug.
And, you know, you're right, this is sportsmanship, it's karate. They've shared, you know, blood, sweat, tears with each other for 9-6 minutes or whatever it may be. There's respect. They've basically put everything on the line to take home a title, a gold medal, or even just bragging rights.
Oh, absolutely. And I say to themselves, I'll see you in October. So we're just waiting for the scorecards to come down. Referee even think he enjoyed that bout. So we'll head back down to Danny Jonas and find out who actually won that.
To make the presentation, please welcome to the ring Mr. Eddie Tofa. Eddie, President of the Wanganui Boxing Association, and of course, one of the chief organisers for the 2021 New Zealand Championships.
Eddie coming to the ring now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. And the New Zealand champion for 2021, fighting out of the red corner, Harvey Madden.
Harvey Madden takes away the win once again. Great bout, well deserved. I mean, that was a war from start to finish. Harvey walks home victorious.
Now, Eddie Tofa, as you see, is handing out these medals. I've come across, he is one very funny man.
I was just about to say, when he came into the ring, you could hear laughter, so he must have been cracking a joke before he came in.
Yeah, he's, of course, president from the Wanganui Boxing Association. Him and his wife have been married, 36 years, I think they were, as of yesterday. So they did a wonderful, wonderful job getting this all ready to go. So I'll tell you what we have, but between now and the next bout, we've actually got a chance to introduce one of the selectors for the Commonwealth boxing team. We've got Ryan Henry joining us. G'day, Ryan. How are you?
Yeah, good. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. How's it all going, though?
Yeah, going good. Yeah.
When does the real pressure come on you now to sort of sort out your team?
Tomorrow night in the finals, but we've been here watching every bout, every minute of every round, so we're doing a bit of talent selecting while we're here too with the younger groups, so just for some camps in the future for the youths and juniors. bring them through as well.
So with the Commonwealth Games coming up in October? No. August.
Yeah, no, July.
August runs. I know it runs across the months. So the selection process, how does it work?
Well, it's been hard with COVID. That's the thing over the last 2 years. So we've been running Commonwealth Games camps in Wellington to get all the boxers together. But the first camp, of course, Auckland was still in lockdown, so they weren't available for that. And then we had them at the second camp. So a lot of competitive sparring there, just to sort of see where they're all at. The issue with no overseas competition is they just had to sort of battle each other out. And
yeah, because normally what would be happening is that we'd be getting the Australians here, or we'd be going to Australia. So for the boxers themselves during the lockdown period, training on their own or with their punching bag in their garage, basically, it must be hard for these athletes to get to the point where you're able to say, because the government or the organising the committees, aren't just going to throw money to send a boxer. No,
they're not. And probably, I mean, the one plus with lockdown is they can do a lot more running, but running isn't getting hit, running isn't competitive, so that's the issue there, and they need that competition to improve, particularly overseas competition,
So I would imagine that you're really looking forward to tomorrow like we do.
Bring on tomorrow.
And we'll see the big boys. Nice to see. Just a quick one with the Commonwealth Games. So we know that selection has to be made by what date? Give or take.
I think 10th of May, I think it has to be done by.
So it's not far away.
It's not far away, so...
well, hopefully what we'll get to see tomorrow, of course, is some of these bigger boys. That'll be great. I'll get you to come back tomorrow. Be brilliant, because some of the boxes you do know. But that's time to head down ringside, and of course ask Danny Jonas to introduce our last bout for this one. Thanks for coming. It must be hard, Isaac, with these boxers trying to get through and what they've got to do.
Well, even for Ryan too, every single bout he's working. He can't even take any time off. He's constantly watching the bout, seeing who the next big star is.
All right, as I say, Danny Jonas will introduce our next bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the final of the Cadet male 62 kg, 3 1.5-minute rounds. Please welcome, fighting out of the red corner from Canterbury, Max Calvert. And a very warm welcome from the East Coast, fighting out of the blue corner, Caden Kahukiwa.
If we're going to need earmuffs for the earlier fight, what's it going to be like when some of these Cantabrians reach the finals, Brent?
Oh, it's going to be all on. All on.
Getting ready now for the final fight of the afternoon. Max there in the red, Caden there in the blue. 62 kilograms.
So this is our final bout at this point with in the two boxes. Of course, there's always two.
Max there in the red, Caden in the blue. 62 kilograms, the final. Bragging rights, but also the title on the line. Max coming out. But Caden absolutely aggressive with those shots as he comes forward. They're standing in the pocket, once again leaving nothing unopposed or for the road home in this round one. We're seeing such a mixed bag here this afternoon, Brent. They'll either fed each other out or just go hammer-tong in round one.
Well, as we've said, it's a minute and a half of time, so you don't want to leave anything on the stall, on the sideline. You need to be able to say, I've been training for this. My anaerobic fitness is good enough, and I've just got to go.
I did love what Steve said earlier, though. You sometimes leave the fight saying, we won. You go back and watch it and say, hey, what fight was that? In this first round, it's hammer tong. I can't call it. It looks pretty even.
Both boxers have had a similar amount of bouts, around 19-20.
Max Calvert there in the red, the Canterbury fighter. He's certainly got the support. Caden there in the blue. And we go to the highlight reel now. I mean, basically just take anything from the whole first round. I mean, they're just throwing hammer tong. Not too much actually technical boxing. Just standing and meeting in the middle of the ring. Hooks galore.
Well, as I say, Caden has golden gloves in both 2020 and 2021. And his opponent, Max, is 2 times Canterbury champion and 2 times Golden Gloves South Island as well. Favourite boxer Tyson Fury, of course. Now that's a fight that's coming up this weekend to watch.
That is true. That will delay my trip home because I will be watching that. But going back to this fight, I mean, is this what lockdowns do, Red? Ryan just said earlier, they can run, they can hit the bag, but they can't fight, they can't box. Is this what is making this tournament so explosive?
Seconds out.
Highly likely, because of course they know that if they become champion, they've got to defend that title back again this coming October. We do have the Golden Gloves coming up at Central North Island and Tupelo again at the Great Lakes Centre, so keep an eye out for that.
Did you plan that, being in your hometown, so you don't have to travel too far?
Did you enjoy driving through the Para? Paris is what I wasn't going to ask you now.
I don't know if we should mention that on it. Yeah, but I became a rally driver. I had to dodge a dead go. We got there in the end.
Here the Canterbury supporters get going again for Max Calvert.
I mean, this crowd is anything but dead. The way they're screaming, the Cantabrians are bringing the heat now. Max Calvert coming forward now. I mean, not letting Caden take anything away from him. Caden coming forward again. This is a very hard bout to judge.
One of the things I really love about the Cantabrian guys, the supporters, is that some of the senior boxers who aren't fighting at this moment are still down here supporting the juniors. And I think that is, again, a testament to the sport itself. With just on 30 seconds to go.
That's Canterbury though, Brent. That's why they always win the rugby. One team, one dream. We're pretty one-eyed down there. And you love it.
Never a guess. Although Caden is not scared to come forward as well. Just a bit concerned how he's got his hands down so low, leaving that jaw wide open.
Just as you said that though, he left the hand low and delivered one right up to the bread basket. His movement is beautiful. The clapper did go for 10 seconds, but they've got another 10 to go. Beautiful body shot there from Caden. We've still got one more round to go, Brendan. For all those watching back home, what about? This is absolute superb boxing from both fighters, North vs South Island. Caden in the blue and Max Calvert from, you guessed it, Canterbury, because the crowd's certainly here for him tonight. Getting words of wisdom now there from the coach in the corner. But if you want some words of wisdom, just go to the crowd as well, because they're certainly screaming out tonight for this Cantabrian.
And we're only just beginning. The coverage brought to you by Sky Sport Next and Sky Sport 3. There's another 3 sessions yet. We have one starting at 5 and again tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll be going live on both and again at 5 o'clock. So this is the minute and a half that you sort of make or break for Caden and or Max. They've only stepped up just 8 kg, but the quality of boxing is just as good.
What I'm loving too here from Caden is, he'll go on the back foot, but he'll still land a great shot. So he'll step to the left, try a left hook. It's actually landing on Max at times, although Max is certainly aggressive. He's walking forward. He's like the Terminator. We'll actually get to hear too from some of the sparring partners later on in the piece of what it's like sparring Max. As he walks Caden down now into the ropes. Absolutely relentless pace here for the final. Max Calvert in the red against Caden in the blue. Nice jab there from Caden meeting Max again. Max just hungry for this win. Coming forward now. Punches and bunches, hooks galore. Every single fight we've seen this afternoon has been a showstopper.
Yeah, well, the last couple of 10, 15 seconds, Max's workload has definitely climbed up, and he's been able to get some lovely hits connections as well.
We're going to need crowd control security for these Cantabrians. Pushing Max on as he comes forward now, walking Caden into the corner. Nice little hook there.
The referee saw that connection. He's giving him a standing 8.
First one we've seen this afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's just remember too, that doesn't affect the scorecards. It may elevate your energy and make you, punch and box harder, but it doesn't do anything to the scorecards. What a fight. Are you not entertained?
Absolutely. You just don't even want to blink at times because, the boxing is so good.
Hopefully Ryan Henry wasn't away for that one. He could be selecting someone next on the Commonwealth.
Well, speaking of selection for Commonwealth Games, we've got somebody you're going to have a chat with in about once we find out the decision of this one. So the judge's decision has been made. So we'll head down to our ring announcer for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to make the next presentation. Manny McGrath, current Secretary of New Zealand Boxing Coaches Association, member of the Referee and Judges Association, and of course, the scoring operator for the 2021 New Zealand Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. And the New Zealand champion for 2021, fighting out of the blue corner, Caden Kahukiwa.
Well, there you have it. Caden takes away the win. North Island victorious over Canterbury, the South Island here. Much to the disappointment of the fans, but went in the way of Caden, walks home the winner.
And again, one of the things I love about this amateur boxing is the way in which these boys will hand themselves opponent's medal, even if they've always getting a cuddle from someone. Very happy. Well, actually, we're very fortunate while we're having this break is to introduce someone who could actually be going off to the Commonwealth Games. A very warm welcome. The Matrix, or should we say Alex Makuka.
Yeah.
How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
You're part of this noisy crowd?
No.
Now, listen, the reason we grabbed you here is that, of course, the Commonwealth Games are coming up, and the probability is that you might make the team.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Now, you've just recently returned from where? Thailand?
Thailand, yes, Phuket. Yeah.
First time?
Yeah, first time with the New Zealand team, loved it. Yeah.
And how did we? I know that you weren't successful, but I've actually also read a number of reports that actually they thought you did, but the judges sort of was a little bit lopsided.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say yes.
Yeah. That was a good fight, loved it, good experience. Fighting with some top international boxers was really good. It's something different. Yeah.
And how did you cope with the heat over there at the time?
Oh, it was pretty hot.
Yeah.
It was really hot, yeah. We tried to adjust it and everything, but it was really hot. All we had to do is stay hydrated, drinking water all the time.
One of the questions that we've been talking about during this whole weekend is the fact that as a boxer with COVID, how did you keep your training up?
Pretty much we just stayed away from everyone as a crowd, and we just stayed as a team. And for that, we just had to wear a face mask all the time.
Oh, so you went into the camp as a team and stayed put, basically?
With the team, yes, yeah.
How was that being away from home for that length of time?
Oh,
Mum's food I'm talking about.
Yeah, we missed Mum's food and everything, but even the experience there, working with different coaches and everything, just loved it, learning new stuff.
Well, we were just talking to one of the selectors, Ryan Henry. Of course, you would have seen him. He's here. And there's also 3 others. So you really are on. Are you boxing this weekend?
No, I got unopposed. Yeah, I was opposed. No one in my weight.
Makuka, you're one of the most exciting fighters we've seen on the scene. Really awesome to have you here tonight in the hot seat. Give us some of the fights you've had here in New Zealand. I mean, I'm just trying to remember all of them. They're just so exciting. Who are some of your opponents that you have fought here in New Zealand that have given you a good go?
I think I had last nationals. I had Keith Dube from Auckland. I think that was the semi. And in the finals, I think I might have had someone from the Canterbury. He used to represent New Zealand. I can't remember his name.
We remember that too. We couldn't even hear anything going on. Luckily we had EMS on in the commentary booth. You were absolutely going wild. That was a great fight.
Yeah, no, I loved that fight, And he was a good, experienced boxer, and he gave me a good go, and I had to adjust facing a southpaw, and it was really good.
So if you went and spoke to Ryan Henry, does he know who you are? You know, have you said, you shout him a coffee, slip in a couple of bills, or are you already on that hit list to go to the Commonwealths?
At the moment, just have to wait and see what they pick. Just leave it to the selectors' hands at the moment, and I just keep training and keep going hard at the moment.
And what do you want to say to the crowd here? I mean, have you got a lot of supporters here? Do you get a few rounds of some of these boys and girls?
Yeah, I had an exhibition fight on the first night, the first session. After I was done with the Canterbury boys 52 kg, was pretty good run. Yeah, just see how the next champions are coming up and everything. Was really, really, really good, and gave me a good run, and I could see the improvement coming up.
What we're looking forward to is getting the results when the Commonwealth Games team's announced, that we get to hear the name Matrix come out, so that we know that you're on your way, that you're going to be boarding a plane. Best of luck to you. Look forward to the fact that you get there. That's first and foremost.
Yes.
And if we don't get a chance to talk to you before that happens, and you manage to go away, good luck in representing New Zealand.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Well, of course, with the boxing, we've still got another session to go. But what we thought we would do is highlight the first 3 bouts of the juniors yesterday. And we were talking about the speed and agility of these young fellas. We're about to show you on Sky Sport Next and Sky Sport 3.
Boxers to ringside, please. Boxers to ringside.
So these boxers, Steve, have had a long time standing down because, of course, there's been nothing really happening for them.
Oh, it's been hard, and as you'll probably be aware, this event is to find the final selection for the Commonwealth Games team that we hope to send, and it's been hard. It's been very difficult. No international competition bar one event, and so we're up against it. But hey, look, the sport's running. The kids are here. And so that's all good.
And as I say, Danny will be informing us of the boxers and what gym they're actually coming out of. So we'll head back down to Danny to do the introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first bout for this evening. Fighting out of the red corner, we have Defonte Venasio.
He's an orthodox boxer.
And fighting out of the blue corner, Ahmed Aziz.
What I love about these things, of course, the way in which these guys write up their style. One orthodox, the other says aggressive.
They're quite imaginative, these boys.
So if you're just joining us for the first time this year, you're going to hear us say this, and we're not making any apologies. This is actually the 2021-22 National Junior Champs. Because of COVID, everything's been shut down. So we're probably trying to fit another one in later in the year, Steve.
Yeah, we'll try and bring the October champs on and get back into our normal cycle. It's been a bit of a shame, but we really needed this event for the Commonwealth Games selection, so we're running the thing anyway.
So with this weight here, of course, these are the junior male 60 kg. They are 2-minute rounds. So if you get knocked down 3 times in the one round, the referee will stop the bout. Safety is absolutely number one. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah, I think the IABA rules have just changed on that, to be honest, Brent. And I'm not totally familiar with it. There may be one more not included.
Well, Ahmed Azizi is in the blue corner, is coming out absolutely all guns blazing. A couple of nice body shots, all that's starting up, taking the wind out of Devontae. Moves his body very well. The thing with the TV too, Steve, is it's quite hard to work out the height of these boys. So
yeah,
you
they're
get
probably
to sort of
bigger
see
than
them.
you and I, mate.
Oh, well, that doesn't take a lot, Steve. He's out of Owen is out of the Peach Boxing in Auckland. He's trained by Isaac Peach. He's had a total of 40 bouts. So he's only a young fella.
Yeah, the Peach boys come out pretty hard, eh? They do a lot of hard sparring. The young fella in red, Devontae, he's up against it. He's lacking the experience in that, but hey, you just don't know.
Well, he's only been boxing for a year up against Ahmed, and he's had 2 national titles, 3 Golden Gloves and 3 Auckland champs. So, he's got that ring knowledge.
Yep, and that's a big thing. Big thing. But on the night, you never know. You just don't know what will happen, eh? That's the beauty of the sport.
So as I say, the Sky Sport coverage is brought to you from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. Gee, the weather turned it on today. It was 27.6 degrees in town. It's very warm.
Yeah, good old Wanganui. It's a beautiful place. Or should I say Wanganui? You just see a little bit of experience coming through.
Yeah, you can see that straight away. He's out of the Pacific Boxing Academy in South Auckland. Both weighing in at 60 kg and about the same height at 1.78 centimetres. As I say, these are 3 2-minute rounds for the first 3 bouts anyway that we get into, up to the 70 kg. Many of these boxers too, Steve, having that stand down during the COVID must have been hard because, of course, not only you weren't allowed to sort of do tea, as we would say, but even be, physically. So how would some of these guys actually keep their training up? Just get Dad to do something in their garage?
That's about it, eh? All you can ask them is to try and keep their fitness maintained. But with, like most sports, there's no training that comes close to competition. And that's what we're lacking. But hey, we're making the best of it, and hopefully we can move forward, get out of this COVID, hole that we've been in, and like most smaller sports, let's just box on and see what happens.
Well, I had to say the first round I gave it to Ahmed Azizi. I thought that he, as I said, he's coming up very quickly. And you say in his profile he's aggressive and he's scoring a couple of nice points nice and early. But Devontae, I like the way he's got his stance too. He's got that sort of slightly taller.
Yeah, he's getting a couple in. He's boxing reasonably well considering he's lacking in the bouts. It's not a walkover, put it that way. That's the way. Yeah, a bit of an old master's trick there.
He's been trained by Jeff Elia.
Yeah, Jeff's a good coach.
Of course, over the next 2 days, or 2.5 days really, because this is our session number 3. These guys are playing for national titles, and of course we do have the selectors here. What did you say, 4 for the Commonwealth?
I think 3 are here in person, and so they've got to do a report.
And we will have a chance to speak to...
Actually, sorry, mate. 4 are here. All 4 are here.
All 4?
Yep.
We've got Ryan Henry has agreed to join us up here at commentary. And he is one of those 4 selectors, taking some time out of being away from the Otago rugby team. What would you say? He's a scrum coach.
Ryan's role with the Highlanders is basically what do you call it? Sort of a mauling and the physical aspects of the fighting for the ball and that.
Has the right credentials.
Yeah, he's
halfway through the second round here. Well, nearly half. I'll tell you what, though Ahmed has got a lot more experience, a lot more. He's had a total of 40 bouts compared to Devontae. He's just got 5. He's standing his ground really well.
He's boxing good, a couple of times here he come over top with a counter punch, he's going fine. He's certainly worthy of being here.
So I was talking to the organisers earlier, Steve, and they were saying that you're hoping to be able to put another event on sort of in October. So there's...
Yeah, we'll run the normal nationals, get into our normal cycle. And the Golden Glove's coming up in June, of course, and Queen's birthday. And that's always a very, very popular tournament. In fact, too popular. Last year we had to restrict injuries. And
where's that been held this year?
That'll be in, I'm pretty sure it'll be Taupo. Yep.
Right, third and final round on our first on the card. And we'll see whether or not I've given first 2 rounds to blue. But I've been proven wrong many a time, Steve, where we've ended up with a split decision or
Yeah, it's hard with boxing. You know, you've got 4 judges all watching from 4 different angles. And, of course, you're watching 4 different bouts at times. And I've watched bouts before where I'm convinced that, you know, my boy or the other boy would have won. But then you watch it on video from a different angle and you think, oh, well, it's a totally different bout.
And of course the scoring goes with the number of punches that these boys are throwing.
Yeah, basically clean body shots. You know what people have, well, we've got to educate people and boxers. You know, like, this is not a fight; it's a boxing bout. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, whatever. But sometimes it turns into a fight. But the idea is it's a boxing bout, and it's a lot more comes into it than just throwing a punch. You know, it's being sneaky. It's working the other guy out. It's a bit of a chess game. And then, of course, these guys have a lot to learn that, you know, that you only score with the clean part of the knuckle, the weight behind the shoulder. And, you know, slaps and that, just like you saw there with the left hand from Red, you know, they do not count in the scoring.
As I said earlier, he's showing a lot of grit.
Yep.
40 seconds. Take the body down. Right to the end, mate. Right to the end, right to the end, right to the end.
So the first one up, of course, from Peach Boxing is Ahmed Azizi. And he's got very, very quick hands. Oh, nice scoring shot there.
Yeah, Peachy's boys, they spar hard. You know, he's got a good gym and they come physically prepared. And his girl boxers too. He's got a very, very good lady boxer. Who we may have a chance of getting to the Commonwealth Games. It'll be touch and go, but there could be a chance here.
So looking at some of the highlights here on Sky Sport Next. This is our first bout for this evening here at Jubilee Stadium in Wanganui for the National Junior Cadet Champs for 2021-22. And no, we haven't got it wrong. Back in their corners, judges compiling their scorecards to see where it all goes. We've got a total at this point of 10 bouts this evening, but one is under question at the moment. That's in the super heavyweight, 92 plus kg. And I tell you what, it runs like a well-oiled machine. There's no mucking around. So we'll head down to Danny Jonas for the announcement once the second boxer, Devontae, gets inside. And we'll go for the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, a unanimous decision, and the winner fighting out of the blue corner, Ahmed Aziz.
Yeah, I felt that might be the way that was going because right from the outset he just came forward and was not going to step back.
Yeah, tough fight for Devontae, but hey, you know, he'll learn from it. He'll come back next year, and you never know, could be a totally different bout.
And as I say, don't blink on Sky Sport Next because you'll miss it as we go into our second bout of the night. We'll head back down to Danny Jonas to introduce the contestants for this bout.
Officials, boxers to ringside, please.
Now, we'll warn you at home, there's a group of Cantabrians within a couple of inches of my headset.
Oh, yeah.
And they have been very, very vocal over the last sessions. So we'll do our absolute best not to be completely drowned out by these boys because they are ready to go. And you'll probably hear it in my microphone. So we'll get the announcement from Danny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to bout number 2 of the evening. And fighting out of the red corner, Wanganui. And Kyne's opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Edward Richards.
So that's the Cantabrians. Ryan Mooney is out of the Manawa 2, and Edward Richards of Canterbury, he's in blue. So just getting their final instructions from the referee. Both these boys are sitting around that 60 kg mark. Referee's just doing the final check.
Yeah, referee Paul McSherry. Paul is one of our current selectors, so he'll be watching these boys too.
So we're ready to get underway. Referee just saying to the righto boys, shake hands, take my instruction at all times. Young Mooney in red, Richard Edwards both boys are a little similar weights to our previous bout, but just a little bit more height on them as well.
Yeah, a bit taller, which is an advantage to a boxer. You know, you normally got a longer reach and you can stand off and pick the guy off a bit more. But hey, sometimes it clashes. Shorter guy gets inside you and does the damage too.
Yeah, Edward Richards is out of the Williston Box End, out of Canterbury, saying about 5'8". Likes to be on the front foot at all times, he says, in his bio that he sent up to us. And young Mooney is an orthodox boxer. He's trained by Billy Meehan.
Yeah, Billy's our current national head coach, and he's just come back from Thailand, from the Thailand Open with our elite team. And here they go, So we'll see how his boy goes.
And it's not just one or two of the Cantabrian contingent. There must be around about, I'm sort of guessing, about 30 odd. Finding the noisiest part of the stadium to be able to make it work. Love it.
Yeah, they got to be right behind us.
A bit of a swing and a miss there.
Yeah, it's taken a while to settle into a pattern, this bout.
Edward Richards, as I say, out at Canterbury, trained by Holly, Tony and Lance down there. He's had 5 years of boxing. I'd like to send a shout out to his family and coach. Still seem to be sizing themselves out.
Yeah, I couldn't get a pattern to that one. You can't tell who's dominating or who's doing what or anything at the moment. But next round will tell. They'll settle into it and we'll just find out who's got the tricks.
This coverage brought to you by Sky Sport Next from the Jubilee Stadium here in Wanganui. This is just the session number 3, and we're back, of course, tomorrow for 2 sessions, and again on Saturday for 2 sessions. And as we sort of move up the grades and all the finals. Ryan Mooney would like to make a shout out to his mum and sister. So you'll be watching this at the moment. On Friday and Saturday, however, you'll be able to also flick onto Sky Sport 3 because we'll be coming live on that channel as well as Sky Sport Next. Oh, I thought they were sprinting and to actually meet each other.
Yeah, okay.
As you say, they don't come here to come second, so you've only got 2 minutes or 6 minutes in total to try and prove yourself. So, as you say, you don't leave anything behind.
Yeah, no, what we've noticed too, I mean, it may be psychological or whatever, but since we've had TV production, these boys are fighting a bit harder. I think, you know, mum and dad's at home, the whānau's looking, you know, and everyone's keeping an eye on them, and they're thinking, okay, I better up my game a bit here.
But if you are in the Wanganui area, shoot down to the stadium, because as much as it's fantastic watching this live on TV, some of these young fellas enjoy a little bit of extra support, like we found down in Potirua, wasn't it? The last
that was great.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, the support down that way was great, and Wanganui has always been good. Good crowds, good support.
David Richards landing a couple of nice ones, and Ryan Mooney in the red has just been getting a standing 8. So do you think he smells something coming forward here? Young Edward Richards from Canterbury.
Yeah, I think he just suspects he may have a little bit more pop than the red boy, but who knows? You still don't know how it'll turn out. Oh, that was a good shot. Yeah. Paul will be onto that.
Yeah.
That's the big thing about the sport. A referee right there.
Yeah.
One shot might get through, but the second one ain't going to. He's going to be in there. You know,
and of course that last punch that he landed was right
on
the bell. Right on the bell. And I think he was, as they say, saved by it.
Yep. And, it's one thing I like about Paul's refereeing. He hovers close to the boxes and he's always there to step in. Because the most important thing is the safety of the participant. And we're really, really, really proud of our record for safety and head trauma and all that. We're the safest sport around, and there's a good reason for it, because there are really good systems in place. Because it is quite a hard sport. The idea is to box, but quite often, as boys be boys and girls be girls, it gets into a bit of a knockout, a bit of a bang bang, and so you got to monitor it. You got to keep an eye on it.
Bit of a brawl going in the third and final round between Edward Richards and Kyan Mooney. Both these boys, as I say, are not going to be mucking around. 2 minutes to prove themselves. We landed a nice right-handed there, a little elbow.
A little bit of stick there.
So the Canterbury chant starts again. And they'll do this probably close to about the full 2 minutes. Referee just saying, come on guys, it's getting a little scrappy here. Stop pulling him in, stop dropping that shoulder. He's caught him.
Very good ref.
Yeah, Ryan Mooney twice have seen that elbow, just drop down that little bit of catch Edward.
And he's holding on
the
to
chin.
it too.
Yeah. We're trying to close the space down.
Hit and hold.
Missed with that uppercut. Tried it. Yeah, the boys are giving him encouragement now to say, look, come on, you've got him.
Yeah, the Canterbury boys, his strength is just coming through.
Referee saying, come on. 10 seconds to go. I think I heard the clap over the noise of the Cantabrian supporters, which I'm not going to knock, not one little bit.
It might be a long 10 seconds, though. You've got another 30 to go, mate. Oh, no. That brought his head up in there.
Gets another standing count. We'll be looking very closely at this young fella, making the decision whether he's going to get to 8 and call it. He's going to say
he's aware the round's late, so he'll know it'll be stopped. He'll know the bell's going to go in a minute, so let him finish on his feet.
That was full on. Great bout between Edward Richards and the blue corner fighting for Canterbury Boxing Association, and Kyan Mooney from the Manawatu.
Yeah, it was just a bit strong.
Yeah, you'd have to say, though, that was definitely Blues match.
Yep. But still, it takes a lot of courage, for Kyan just to get in there to start with, He held his own.
Well, Edward's done 30 bouts compared to 22 with Kyan.
Yep.
So Yeah, I still would. We've talked about it before, Steve. There's a cup of tea on it, but we'll just head down to Danny Jonas to give us the announcement of this bout.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous points decision. The winner fighting out of the blue corner, Edward Richards.
No, well, that went the way in which we sort of perceived it would. But it didn't disgrace himself in any way, shape or form.
No. Oh, it's just the courage to get in there. You know, it's a big thing to get in that ring and expose yourself to the whole wide world. You know, there's four corners, but you can't hide in them.
So Danny just announced the next two coming in. It's Kyle Dayton up against Xavier Connolly. So again, these are 2-minute rounds. So we'll head down to Danny Jonas to introduce our boxers. Well, we hope you enjoyed those highlights, of course, of the earlier bouts that we had yesterday. And it was great. And I tell you what, Isaac, I mean, we've seen some great boxing this afternoon and only looking forward to what's going to happen tonight.
Brent, explosive, technical, and one for the purists. We saw it all this afternoon. Don't even ask me to choose a favourite fight. Don't even ask.
Well, we're not going to be doing that because we don't have to be in the ring. But it's absolutely amazing at watching the Nationals again. These athletes have had to compete, get themselves prepared under the COVID restrictions, and yet we're still seeing the fitness of them, the anaerobic fitness of them, to get in the bout and go for it. And of course, then tonight we start again at 5 o'clock for some real good boxing.
This is why we're seeing so much explosive fights. The lockdown, you know, as Ryan Henry alluded to, they're just running, they're hitting the bags. They haven't been able to get into the ring and do what they did this afternoon. 6 fights, action-packed. We've got 13 tonight.
I know. It's great.
I hope the Canterbury crowd doesn't know.
Well,
how loud were they?
I was just out of the stadium just recently, and the Canterbury boys were there and just going, "We're ready for you. We're ready." So they're going to make a lot of noise.
How many did they bring up? I mean, it's like there's 2 busloads, 3 busloads.
3 busloads. So I hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Sky Sport Next and Sky Sport 3. On behalf of course, Isaac Savage and myself, Brent Perry, we'll be back again tonight at 5 o'clock. Look forward to your company.